Alright, we're in round one. We're going to mulligan this. Got the one lander. Uh-oh. No lander. Alright, let's go to 5. Well, at least our opponent's mulliganing too. Alright, our opponent thought for a while. Finally kept the 6 landers, or 6 card hand, so we'll mull to 5. Alright, this is a keep at least. Pretty nice one, actually. We're going to bottom any non-land, because we definitely want to play this Brazen Wolves on turn 3. There we go. Alright. I guess we really can't ask for a better 5-card hand. Oh, missed his second land drop. Alright, let's punish. Looks like it was a slightly greedy keep by our opponent there at 6. He thought about it for a good couple minutes, but they are likely going to be feeling some regret soon here. Brazen Wolves is going to put them away. Ooh, well, that's a pretty good way to... Well, we just drew a Borrowed Hostility, though, so that worked out well. So we're going to go Borrowed Hostility plus a second Brazen Wolves, and that's got to be a tough road to recovery for the opponent after that. I mean, we got basically 10 power on board right now. 13 if you include the Spiteful Motive, so I don't know what they can play to get back in that. That's not going to do it. Alright, let's just swing. Taking it all. So we can put a Spiteful Motives on the Reaver and deal 13 to our opponent. That means all 3 of our guys will be lethal. Otherwise, he'll go to... Let's just do that. Take my opponent to 3. Because then next turn we can swing with the Prophet too. I mean, there's just no way our opponent can get out of this. Yeah, and draw a Borrowed Grace. Alright. So opponent's green-black, which is an archetype I like a lot in this format. And the cards they have appear to be pretty good. Liliana's Elite and Gnarlwood Dryad are the only 2 we saw, but those are both really good cards. We don't have much in terms of sideboard. Just basically swap into some tricks. Actually, I guess Weaver of Lightning is pretty reasonable against the Dryad if they don't get Delirium. But I want to see more of their deck before I swap anything out, so let's just run it back. Well, this hand's not ideal. It's a lot of lands. But we are on the draw, and we have a 1-2 drop play, so I think I'm going to keep it. Alright. Okay. So we'll play the Reaver, and we're still going to flip our Gossip Monger. Even though he's got the Rancid Rats. It's not a big deal. I'm still willing to trade my Gossip Monger for the Rats. And then follow up with a Brazen Wolves. Okay. Opponent decided to play the Borrowed Malevolence. Could have flipped on our turn to prevent that from happening, but that's all right. Okay. So, Borrowed Hostility just lets us swing right on into that, which is nice. Ooh, Nahiri's Wrath. Well, that's a good card. Let's just swing. So we'll buff this guy and first strike this guy. All right. So Nahiri's Wrath, not looking the greatest this game just because we're already a little bit mana heavy. But maybe sandbag a couple spells just to discard these remaining lands. I mean, we only have one 5-drop in the deck, so it's not a huge deal. Ooh, Ride Down was a really good draw there. And our opponent just did not anticipate the Ride Down, so I mean, they can have a removal spell here, definitely. They have 5 open mana, 3 cards in hand. But they still blocked, so alright. They successfully ate our Brazen Wolves, but they at least lose their guy. And we get in for some damage. So I guess I'll play the land. But now we're just sandbagging lands for Nahiri's Wrath. Okay. Alright, no more plays from our opponent. I assume that means 2 lands in hand, but we'll see. I think our opponent tried to equip the cultist staff there, but okay, do we want to play the killer or sandbag it for Nahiri's Wrath? I mean, I'd like more than just 2 power on the board. Alright, let's play the killer. I need enough power to put my opponent away. Like, I could have discarded killer and a mountain to get rid of the 2 zombies, but it really doesn't seem ideal. I'd rather deal with like 3 things at once. I mean, technically my opponent can just equip with staff, attack, and then re-equip staff. which is going to be a problem. But I didn't want to just use Nahiri's Rat. Well, if they're keeping back, then that's good for us too. Oh, Strength of Arms. Okay. 2 cards in hand. I think we just hang out. Like, I can attack into that. I don't like that my opponent has 2 cards in hand, even though they might be lands. I really don't want to use the Strength of Arms on a zombie token. Liliana, alright. Pretty strong card. Well, Faith Unbroken's pretty good here. So, let's see. So I can play Faith Unbroken, I can eat his 4/4 zombie. And then they both attack Lily. Alright. Maybe I put it on the Reaver, because I'd rather, if my opponent has removal, they use it on the Howler instead. Makes sense. Alright, so let's eat 4/4. Which is really where Faith Unbroken shines the most, because my opponent really can't ever get that token back, even if they deal with this Reaver. Alright, so decided not block at all. So Lily's done for. Now we'll pass. Which is kind of nice, actually, that we didn't have to play a second spell, so our killer is still a branded Howler. So, pretty sure our opponent doesn't have piece of spot removal, instant speed at least, because they would have played it there to protect their Liliana. Ruthless Disposal. Well, unfortunately, that is a pretty solid play for our opponent. They discarded Abundant Maw for that, which is kind of crazy. All right, well, I think we can play a land again, because if we do draw Vilden, what's his name? Vilden Pack Outcast, I want to be able to flip him. Okay. Foul Blood with Menace. So, unfortunately, we're in some trouble now. We actually got to draw some action. I mean, technically that counts. I think, unfortunately, I gotta sandbag it though. I gotta use a lot of cards to kill my opponent's things. I mean, you can probably afford to get attacked a couple turns, but not long after that. All right. Okay. All right, so let's figure this out. I can discard. Opponent's got no cards left in hand. Unfortunately, the re-equip there was a good move, because now I have to discard the Griff and the Prophet. I'd rather have discarded the Prophet and the Strength of Arms, but I don't think we can afford to take 10 damage here, so let's just get it over with. So we'll discard Griff and Prophet so we can take out both of our opponent's cards here. Alright, well, opponent didn't rip a creature. Let's see if we can. Alright. Guess we don't need to sandbag lands anymore. Alright, so 5/5 Death Touch. This does not bode well. Alright, I mean, it's the only way we can do it, so we gotta play that. We are gonna lose all of our cards, though. Alright, well. Guess it doesn't matter. Death Touch is good. Aye, Chihuahua. Alright. Looks like we got beaten down here, so was hoping to just steal the victory, but no such luck. It's going to be a bit more challenging. So we saw some more cards. Our opponent's got Liliana, which is really good. I mean, it's not like it's a busted Planeswalker in Limited or anything, but it's certainly good. So, alright. Let's go to game 3 here. Yeah, opponent's deck looks really good. Multiple Death Touch things with fight cards. Instant speed one. Powerful removal. Yeah, our opponent's deck looks really good. Like I said, I've had a lot of success with... it might be worth it to bring in Weaver. Over what, though? Like... I don't know. Like a Falcon Wrath Weaver? I probably don't want to cut my two... Maybe just cut the Innkeeper. Bring in the Weaver. Alright. How many instant sorceries do we have? Whatever. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's it. 6 is really not that many, but he showed us multiple 1/1 Death Touchers. He doesn't have a ton. But it's not like the Innkeeper's all that good anyway. Alright, let's just bring in the Weaver and see what we can do with it. Alright, let's try this again. Could do the Machinations against the Death Touch instead. That's not bad either. But now I think we'll stick to the same thing. We haven't seen Spiteful Motives come up yet, so let's do it. Well, we gotta keep this, I think. We don't have to, but I'm going to. I don't think you should really mulligan hands like this. Alright, no 2-drop, that's good. Ooh, timely 3-drop for us. Sanctifier should be real good for us here. Even if we can make some trades or our guys die. we should be okay. All right, let's get in there. All right. We'll bust out the ride down on that if we have to. Ooh, conduit. So I can... Yeah, it's actually not bad. Let's play the conduit because it buffs the sanctifier. And then we can swing with all of our guys, which is pretty slick. Total just ride down telegraph, but I don't care about dealing a bunch of damage to my opponent. We'll make the trade and we'll deal 5 to our opponent. That seems real good for us. And now we're in just the really awesome position of, okay, that's actually just fine. Ooh, Reaver too. Can we instant speed the... Nice. So 3, 5. Just a little bit mana short of everything we want to do here. Let's see. I can make this a 4-5 though. So if I swing with everything, how does my opponent block? Maybe the 2 zombies on the conduit. And the unhallowed on the sanctifier. I mean, another thing I can do is just... I definitely want to make the optimal turn here. So, Sanctifier can buff itself, and I can still play Ride Down, but then I can't flip the Conduit. So let's say I attack with everything, and my opponent blocks either on the Conduit or the Sanctifier. Then he could double block, so I should probably only attack with 2 things. Or maybe just swing with the Griff, play the Reaver, and get a token. That might just be the best. That just... Because my opponent's got pretty good blocks any way I do it, and I don't really want to trade off Conduit at this point. So let's just get in with a Flyer. I mean, we're pressuring our opponent pretty good here. And they really got to deal with this stuff now, or it's going to get out of control. All right. Still looking good. Ooh, Strength of Arms. That's pretty nice. So now we can swing with... Well, let's see. I can deal 3 in the air. We can swing with Conduit too, though, and see how our opponent blocks. Might be in our best interest to just swing for 3 in the air, bring our opponent to 4. Which means we can kill him with the Dawn Griff flying next turn. Let's just attack with these two. I mean, he's gonna die to the... Our opponent's gonna die to the air blockers, or air attackers, so... Let's just pass and make them deal with this now. Like, obviously I could have attacked with Conduit, but I don't see why that's necessary. Like, our opponent's got to kill the flyers, and if they don't kill the flyers, even if they do kill the flyers, we get it back with Sanctifier. Alright. So our opponent gains some life here. Does buy them another turn, unfortunately. But maybe we'll rip another spell here. Like that, for example. We'll just draw like magicians this whole time. Alright, let's just kill our opponent and call it a game. Alright. Very good. Beat a very good deck from our opponent. They had some excellent cards in there. From under the floorboards, Elite, all the zombies, and some good green support as well. Alright, we'll see you in round 2.